Good morning, students. I hope you all are safe and good. For grade 7, today we are going to see the second chapter in history, that is New King and Kingdoms. How the new king and kingdoms they formed. On first, they are saying in the 7th century, the region of subcontinent was ruled by the king. On ruling that time, the people, the king, he has a support like a chief and the ministers. These chief and the ministers, they were called as Samantas, as the subordinate for the king. What these people they will do? They will give to the king and they will support the king in the military way. The people, Samanta, if he is controlling more than 3 regions or 4 regions, he is called as a Mahasamantas. The title was gave by the Samanta itself. Themselves they gave the name as Mahasamantas in the subordinate. And finally, what happened? These chief and the ministers they started themselves as an independent ruler, and they what we can say that they govern a settled land. They govern independent assets as themselves, and they started a new king and kingdoms. On first, what are the two major and the main chief? Those who have converted into a king, they themselves started an independent asset. That Rashtrakuta in Deccan, he in Rashtrakuta, the chief was a Dandidurga. He defeated the king and he became the king by doing the ritual performance. After he became the king, he did the ritual performance like Hiranyagarbha, that means the golden worm. He is not a Kshatriyan for giving the rebirth as him, for giving the rebirth to him as a Kshatriyan. He did the ritual performance, and the two Brahmins like Kadamba Mayurya Sharma and Gurjan Pratihar Harichandra. These two people, they belongs to Brahmin culture. Even though they are Brahmin, they gave up their tradition and they became the king of Karnataka and Rajasthan, and they created the kingdoms. How was the administration? The administration, if the king is good, he is having a good military power. The power is good. The administrative movement is good. He will give the title as Maharaja and Chakravarti. These were the titles given by the king by themselves to show their power. And the administration rule and the revenue rule, everything was not done by the king. It was shared by the people. So they collected the tax and rent from the cattle keepers and the peasants. On first they collected as a tax. For being in the land, they collected the tax from these people, and after some period, the king he compelled the cattle keepers and the peasants to pay the tax as rent, because this is my land, you people are staying, so you want to give me the rent. Like that, the king started to collect the money from the people. For what reason he collected? The financial use of the money, the tax, that for establishing king's establishment. That means he's for building the temples, for creating the new buildings, the walls, or for the dams. He used that money for the kingdom establishment or king establishment, and for the war. He collected the money and he used that money for doing the war also. If he, on doing the war to the other country, if he won the war, if he win the war, he can get more money from that kingdom. So, for the war purpose, he collected the money from the people. Then the revenue officers, mostly the revenue officers and the administrative officers, that belong to the relatives of the king. Mostly the close relatives of the king, they were appointed as the revenue officers and the administrative officer. Right, children? Children, we are going to see about the Prahasti and the land grants. What is Prahasti means? The prizing of the king. The Brahmin people who will compose this Prahasti, they will write that in the Sanskrit. They will sing the song, they will praise the king in front of him. For on praising him, he will reward them with the land and their record on the copper plate. So all the details in the Prahasti was not true, because the good thing, only the good thing was written in the Prahasti and composed by the Brahmins and sung by the Brahmins. The people, the Brahmin people, they were belong to the administrative officers. They were given the power of the administration as their chief and the minister. This made the people to become the king and kingdom, to create the new kingdom. But in this, on the 12th century, one poet, he written the Kalhar, he written the critical situation of the kings. Not only the good things, not only on praising the king, he also write the critical and some of the mistakes done by the king and how was the war. Totally, the critical situation of the king was explained in his poem. Next, we are going to see the warfare for wealth. Why they did the war? Why the kings, the new kings, they did the war? For dynasty, to expand the empire. All the dynasty kings and rulers, they did the war to expand their empire. The main motto on that century is to expand their empire. The Kanuj, the place, it is in the Ganga valley where it is called as a Tripartite struggle because three kings, the three dynasty kings, they were doing the war and often they were struggling to capture the Kanuj place. Who are they? Harichandran, Rashtrakuta and Pal dynasty. These three dynasty kings, they were doing a war against the Kanuj to capture the Kanuj and to expand their empire. To end for the why these people they did the war to demonstrate their power. For demonstrating their power, the kings what they will do? They will build the temple, they will build the big walls to safeguard the people, and they will do the new activities like dams, building the dams and everything. And kings, the main target is temple. Why all the king they built at the temple? Because temple is a place where all the people will come and they will worship. Not only the worship was done in the king, in the temple, but also it was acting as a reservoir for the money keeping and for capturing the good things, the valuable things were kept in the temple. So the main target of the king, in all the kingdom, if one king is going to do the war to the next kingdom, means he will definitely they will attack the temple first, because to capture if they capture the temple, on the temple they have lot of money, valuable things and the good infrastructure, everything will be there. So the main target of the king to attack the other country is temple. And Muhammad Ghazni, about the Muhammad of Ghazni, why he often rapidly he did the war to capture the India, but he spent his lot of money and his economic wealth to give the capital, to get the capital of Ghazni. He did the war. He was unable to find what is there in India, what are all the king they are having, what is the speciality of India. So he called Al-Biruni, one poet, we can say him as a chief, Al-Biruni. He called him and he asked him to do the research on India and to give him a collective book of record, what are all the things the Indian kings and the subcontinent kings they are doing and have. The other kings, not only the Muhammad Ghazni, the other all the kings they did the war and they were conflicting each others. Chairman Prithviraj III, Afghan ruler, he defeated the Prithviraj III, he defeated Afghan ruler Sultan Muhammad Gauri. Afghan ruler, he is Afghan ruler. Who is that? Muhammad Gauri. He defeated Prithviraj, he defeated the Muhammad Gauri in 1191 he defeated. On the next year itself, the Muhammad Gauri, he defeated Prithviraj in 1192. This was the history of Muhammad Ghazni and Prahasti, how the new king they formed, how the new kingdom was formed, and what is Prahasti, how was the administration, who gave for those people for which people they gave more importance, and how the peoples they captured and what was the main struggles we learned. About the Cholas and about the agriculture we will see in the next class, children. Thank you and have a great day.